Hey guys, welcome back to Sports with Mono and Mono. It's Jim, and guess what? My partner Steve is back with us after a couple of weeks.
Hello, Jim, as I'm sitting 40 feet away from you.
Well,
Welcome back, partner and brother.
Yep, it's March 13th, 2021.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day.
It's sunny. Things are hopefully getting better.
It is. We're several days away from St. Patrick's Day.
Yep.
There we go, brah.
Kiss the Blarney Stone.
Oh, gonna have myself some corned beef and cabbage. Irish soda bread.
Which is horrible, by the way.
No, it is not.
You need like a slab of butter on it. You know.
A lard of butter. You think it's terrible because our Aunt Patsy used to make it and bring it over and be like, oh, yeah, it's great.
No, you're thinking of the Christmas fruit bread or whatever, which is horrible.
Fruit surprise.
But anyway, welcome back. It's great to be with Steve again, and lots to talk about. But I'm going to hand the mic over to Steve, who has this week's monologue.
That is correct, and I think the audience probably knows. I think my partner knows what my monologue will be.
I don't.
Really?
I don't.
It's going to be regarding number 4 for the Dallas Cowboys, who has been finally signed to a 4-year deal where we don't have to do the franchise tagging. And not only is he signed, he is the second highest paid quarterback behind Mahomes. And the money, I've been getting bombarded all week. How can you give him this money and he's not this good? And it's the same wheels on the bus go round and round regarding Dak Prescott. I am in the camp of this kid is such a team leader. He is, if you really break down his stats, he doesn't want to play, and all this nonsense. He is well-deserving. Now, is the money ridiculous? Of course it's ridiculous. However, that's the going rate. Okay, so we sign him 4 years. I think it's $160 million. He gets a signing bonus of $66 million. Okay, $66 million, and he's going to get $40 million a year. And guess what? I think he deserves it. Not that money. Right, I'm not saying $40 million. I'm saying he's deserving to be the Dallas Cowboys starting quarterback. And as a Cowboy fan, as everybody knows I am, I think it's a great move. I think it gives stability. And Dak and McCarthy hopefully become simpatico. Hopefully the COVID wanes where, there can be a training camp and he can get back. As far as I know, he's healthy again. I think the ankle's not going to be an issue. So okay. I am on all board. And to finish it up, he's making 40. The next guy is going to make 42. I don't know when that's going to stop and how high the ceiling will be. However, I am, as a Cowboy fan, once again, thrilled that Dak has been signed to 4 years.
Okay. Well, as you guys know, our monologue is 2 uninterrupted minutes, so I didn't interrupt Steve. You know what? Now that you mention it, I guess I should have thought that was going to be the monologue, because I got some thoughts on it too. And I really like Dak Prescott a lot. And the money, as you said, Steve, is ridiculous. But it's the going rate, as you said. But you know what? They talked about Jerry Jones and, who had the leverage and this and that. And I saw a thing with Jeremy Schaap this morning on ESPN about the Cowboys, right? Their glory days of way in the past, right? We're talking, they haven't made a championship game since the 90s, late 90s.
They won the Super Bowl in 95 against the Bills.
But again, the Dallas Cowboys.
Excuse me, their last Super Bowl, I think, was against the Steelers.
I like Dak Prescott, but the money is unbelievable, right? $40 million a year, and you're right.
But it doesn't matter.
I get it.
Rodgers makes 38, Mahomes makes this, and Matt
Let
Ryan makes 36 million. Come on.
And it came down, were they going to franchise him and then see whether he comes back from his injury and so forth? But
You need stability at the
I
quarterback
agreed.
position.
I think it was the right move, and I'm not even shocked anymore by the money. But let's see if the Cowboys can get back to those glory days. What do you think?
Well, it's all about the defense. I mean, that's what it's all about. I mean, offensively, the Cowboys have Elliott, Prescott, and Cooper, and so on and so
They
forth.
got some talent around.
Now, the offensive line, which is a stability for the last 5 years, is banged up. Zach Martin has to stay healthy. Zach Martin's been getting a lot of money, and I'm not knocking Zach Martin. I think Zach Martin is phenomenal.
I agree.
He's got to be healthy. Okay,
agree.
Tyron Smith. Actually, I'm actually looking at a calendar here in the studio, and ironically, it's March, my Cowboy calendar, and I'm looking at Tyron, number 77.
Who gave you that calendar, by the way?
My partner Jim for my birthday. And you know what? His days are waning. He's 31, 32, but he's got a lot of miles. It's all about the defense, okay?
Right, but now watch Zeke hold out again because now Dak's getting this kind of money.
No. I think defensively we'll be fine. We got a new sheriff in town, and for defense, and we go from there. So, Dan Quinn, obviously is a defensive guy. He was, from the Seahawks and obviously the Falcons head coach.
Yep.
The defense is a specialty,
Okay.
and we just got to get the right players there on defense. And I think the Cowboys, I mean, it was a terrible year last year, so I can't see it getting worse.
I agree. I think it was the right moves.
I do too.
Lock the guy up. He's going to come back, but he's a good kid, and I like it.
Yeah.
So let's stick with the NFL, Stephen. Of course,
Big Ben is back.
We know that. We talked about that
We
last
did.
week. Restructured his contract and
Yeah.
so forth. Franchise tags came out this week.
Yeah.
Giants franchised Leonard Williams,
I think
who,
that-
by the way, has had a great run with the Giants. He was a garbage man with the Jets, but he's played.
He's played like Leonard Williams is supposed to play.
I think he was a number 4 pick in the draft a few years
He's
back.
out of USC. I mean, but he's playing the way we all anticipated him.
Yeah.
Coming out of college. So
And let's stick with the NFL and say, of course, first and foremost, our NFL segment sponsored by Coriano Trucking, Summerhill, New York.
it is.
And
it
it's
is.
his wife's birthday, Lily. So we give
Lily,
her
happy birthday.
happy birthday.
29 again, Lily. Oh, come on.
But anyway, so with the NFL, how about this? The New England Patriots re-signed Cam Newton. I don't know. I still think Garoppolo is going to be the answer for them. I think he's going to end up in New England. And
No.
8 touchdown passes for Cam Newton last year, and they signed him to a $13 million contract. $6 million of it's incentive based. That's a surprise to me.
What did we just talk about? Dak is making $40 million.
It's not the money. The fact that he's coming back. Bill Belichick's
yes,
going
for
to endure
$13 million.
but endure another season with this?
Yes, because next year is where they're going to make their move.
No,
Because
Garoppolo will be the starting
next
quarterback
year-
for the
no,
Patriots.
next year, the Patriots have so much draft capital.
Yep.
And, you don't think Belichick, has this game plan for, and if it takes one more year of 6-10 or 7-9,
Well, all his players that opted out last year are coming back. Dante Hightower. and
whatever.
so forth.
My point is that Belichick has somebody in mind that he would like to get a quarterback that may or may not be available. To your point about Garoppolo, yeah, I get the fact that he's been there and Belichick knows all about him.
Are they going to move in the draft to
I
get
just don't
Trey
think-
Lance?
No, I just
somebody
don't
like that.
I think Garoppolo. I don't think he's going to be a long-term
Solution
quarterback.
for him?
I just think he's kind of frail a little bit.
Agree. He's got some injury
Yeah,
problems.
I don't think he's terrible, and I don't think he's going to leave San Francisco.
All right.
But yeah, listen, that's not out of the realm of possibility that they sign Newton for 1 year, and maybe they make a play for one of the top quarterbacks this year.
Let's see. Draft day.
Right.
We'll see. The Todd McShay, Mel Kiper, this guy's moving up. He's moving up, and Sam Darnold's going to the Bears and so forth.
Right.
Rumors and rumors and
Right.
rumors, right?
Right.
But listen, one thing before we move off football.
Now back to McShay and Kuiper, Bill Polian. Who the hell is Mel Kiper?
Oh, that was what? That's like almost 30 years ago, right? 25 years ago?
Great.
It was great. Who the hell is Mel Kiper? And yet Mel endures. He's a fixture in the draft.
I'm a fan of Mel.
Yep. But one thing, Steve, before we move off to off football, Les Miles, and I mentioned it last week on the show.
You did.
And I didn't realize his record at Kansas was so abysmal in the past 2 years. I thought he won more games than that, but...
I mean, he wasn't as good as Charlie Weiss was at Kansas.
It's still, we got a sore spot for Charlie.
You know who's a good coach at Kansas? Was the biggest, fattest coach ever on the sideline?
Oh, he was. Mark
Mangino.
Mark Mangino, right? He had a good run at Kansas.
He did.
Yeah.
But the point is about Les Miles. I read this in depth.
He's a crumb.
Yeah, I know. While you did the show, and I was on my lunch break, and I'm reading it, and I'm saying to myself, wow. And then when you look at Les Miles, I was envisioning him on the sideline. I could see it. I don't want any fat, ugly women in here. I only want blondes. But listen, oh my God, right?
Yep.
You can imagine. So Les's attorney is saying this is nonsense, blah, 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 but Kansas did the right thing. Where there's smoke, there's fire. I mean,
but LSU kept him around for years.
But this was investigated. Why did they do that? Because it's LSU.
And they won a national championship.
It's as simple as that.
Okay.
It really is.
Yep.
But also the report stated real quick is that, we're fans of Ed Orgeron. But trust me.
There's some dirty socks in that basket.
Hell yeah. Oh, yeah.
I know.
Darius Geis and the guys like that.
I know.
And what did Ed did? He won the national championship, and he'll be fine.
But who keeps coming up clean is Nick Saban, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's doing it right.
No,
he's doing it right.
Absolutely.
God. We talked, God, that was one of my monologues a few weeks back, right?
Yeah.
But Les Miles, he got his comeuppance. No question about it.
And then I was thinking to myself when Les Miles is an alum of Michigan, and I was saying to myself,
we remember him playing.
Right, but we were saying when the Michigan job was open, Les Miles is going to go to Michigan. Michigan's got to be very happy that Les Miles never came back to Michigan.
Well, Jim
I'm just saying. Yeah, but
agreed,
you know what I mean?
Agreed. So let's move on. Baseball. Major League Baseball, right? We're a couple of weeks away from opening day.
Yeah.
And as far as COVID goes, this is Texas is 100% open, so they're expecting full capacity for the opening day for the Texas Rangers. 100% capacity. And who would have thought it? Like I said, after the year we've endured, no fans and so forth, it's a risky proposition, as I talked about a couple of weeks ago, Steve. But Major League Baseball is getting close.
Yeah, but regarding this, the Texas Rangers are going to have a full house.
And it's only 40,000 capacity. It's small ballpark.
But again, I mean, we're in this petri dish of COVID. And is it risky? Yeah, okay. But when does it stop? We have to try and get back to normal.
Agreed.
So I'm just saying. I've had a heated debate back and forth with some. Hey, well, it's you can't, and I'm saying, well, when does it stop? So either it's going to be a good thing, or it could be.
It could reverse a trend. That's,
right, and then
we're on the good side.
And again,
right
I'm
now.
thinking about a father taking his two sons that are 7 and 9 or whatever to this game and expose. I get all that. However, when does it stop? We have to try and,
I see where you're going. I'm just saying it's
like Thomas Edison or something. You know what I mean? Inventors.
Listen,
you gotta push the envelope here.
In the next month, they're gonna have at least 20,000 of it, to go to a Yankee game, right? And that's right down the street for us. How many times have we done that trip?
Yeah. Well, we're not doing it on this one.
I'm just saying, baseball is. I wanted to ask you one question about baseball while we're talking about it. These things they're going to try out in the minor leagues, right? You could move your infielders wherever you want, but they have to be on the dirt. Stuff like this. 15-second pitch count. What's your thoughts on this? Are they going to slow down or stop the 3.5-hour Major League Baseball games? Is that the intent here?
Yeah.
I mean, is that...
I don't care about it. Meaning...
3 pick-off attempts,
meaning
max.
I don't care to debate about it because, to me, baseball, when we played, and Abner Doubleday to present, you can't spike, you can't collide at home plate, you can't do anything. We're talking baseball here.
I know.
Okay?
I know.
Right?
I know where you're going with this.
The intensity of it, of certain players, right?
The strategy of it all.
And for our older fans and everything, I just want to throw it back to, it was a weekday afternoon. The Cincinnati Reds are in Shea Stadium, and right, Pete Rose barrels into Bud Harrelson at second base. And what did we watch? A throwdown go down, right?
A scrum.
More than a scrum.
It was.
But my point about that was the intensity. And it lasts for 3 minutes, if that, right? But the point is, you can't do anything anymore, man.
I know. Strange.
So when you can stay on the dirt, and you can put a runner in extra innings, I mean, to me, I think they're overthinking this. But again, they have to get the baseball game not to be 3.5 hours. However, they can't pay the money that they pay because TV is the ones that write the check.
And we're going to, what's next? The robot from Lost in Space being the umpire, behind home plate?
Don't be surprised.
Right?
Right? Down the road.
I'm just saying.
Well, at least the technology is going to be there that, yeah.
But sometimes a baseball game being 3 hours is awesome. It's like watching a great movie, So I'm just bringing it up to say, are we going to really change the rules of baseball?
They have, and they are, and my point, it's taking away from the purity of the game.
And you know what? My one pet peeve was this thing they did last year in the 60-game season. Extra innings, you get a runner at second base.
Well,
and I said, you're bringing it up saying,
well,
that was the whole thing. You brought in Mariano Rivera. You know what it took to get a guy to second base off Mariano Rivera? I mean, crazy. Crazy stuff.
They're doing that because they don't want the 18-inning, extra inning game, and they don't want the, right?
But baseball fans do. That's what makes it awesome.
Right.
So, I'm just saying, baseball is coming. How about an update? Do you know what's going on? How about our nephew is the pitching coach at Rutgers?
Yeah.
Are they playing in Florida or Louisiana? Is the season underway? Are they back on the field?
Yeah, they've had a couple games. And,
okay.
I mean, they'll be outdoors. I mean, so they had all off last year.
They did.
And, baseball is a type of sport where, the second baseman is at least 10 feet away from the first baseman, and so on and so forth.
And that's kind of a little semi-shout out for our nephew Brendan.
But they're easing in, and they're playing.
Okay.
But are they going to play again the full thing? Is it going to be a College World Series?
Remains to be seen.
We'll look into it, but the good news is, they're playing at Rutgers, and
awesome.
We're happy for that.
Awesome. I want to move on to the NBA, Steve.
Great.
Okay? And I'm going to bring this up first. One of our fans, Mike Garvey, down in Naples, he says, you don't talk a lot about the NBA that often. And I said, well, when there's something to talk about, we'll talk about. And I'm bringing it up because the NBA Hall of Fame finalists were announced.
Yeah.
And I was, as soon as I saw them, I wanted to bring it up to you and say, what do you think? Our Hall of Fame thing, we talked about it in baseball and football. We just throw out a name. It's a yes or a no, and we move on. So here's a couple of NBA Hall of Fame finalists. Chris Bosh, Miami Heat. and I know Mr. Garvey down in Florida was a big fan of his, won a couple championships. Hall of Fame, Chris Bosh.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer.
I just throw out the name, you say yes?
Yeah.
I say no.
Mike Garvey thinks he is, right?
He does.
I'm with you, Mike.
Okay, I'm not.
No, he's
He was-
unsung.
He carried the luggage for the guys that won it. Dwayne Wade and LeBron James.
He was a great defender, and guess what?
Okay, I'm going to bring it up because
I think Bosh is a Hall of Fame.
here's another name, Michael Cooper.
Defensively, he's considered one of the top defensive guys.
Got a
No,
couple of rings.
But the answer's no.
Chris Bosh, yes. Michael Cooper, no.
Because Chris Bosh was
Wow.
offensively and defensively very good. And
But
he-
I don't
he went
think of them when you say, give me the top 30
well, Mike
players.
Garvey
of
and
all-
I think of him.
Top 30 players of all time, Chris Bosh. I think.
I
not.
don't know about that, but
How about Paul Pierce? Wow, he hesitated. I say yes right out of the gate.
yeah, because I was trying to think. Listen, I know all about Paul Pierce. I watched him at Kansas, for Christ's sakes. I watched him at the Celtics.
We watched him.
I know. He carried the load and they won the championship.
Okay.
I got it. I'm going to say yes because I'm sure Paul has a ton of points.
All right, let me
He's
move.
a Hall of Famer. Yeah.
Marcus Johnson.
Marcus Johnson was a really good ball player, Bucks and everything. I remember Marcus Johnson.
Chris Bosh gets in, Marcus Johnson doesn't? Really? You're kidding.
I will not be besmirched on this program. I can tell you that right
Wow.
now.
I say Marcus Johnson, 2 thumbs up. Absolutely. And he's been on the ballot for years. I mean,
That is my point, Mr. Monahan.
all right.
When you think of Marcus Johnson, you're telling me automatic? I'm trying to scan in my head going, well, why the hell isn't Marcus Johnson in the Hall of Fame? Because
Already.
Marcus Johnson played in the 70s and the early 80s.
He
That-
gets in before Chris Bosh, though, to me. I don't know. I don't know what's taking so long.
Well, I
But
think
Bill-
Bosh is getting in before him.
One last
Which is
guy.
surprising, that's all.
One last guy, Bill Russell. As a coach,
As a coach,
we don't deny him going in as a player. That's a first ballot thing. But as a coach, had a pretty good record. Coached for 3 different teams.
I know.
Won 2 titles with the Celtics.
Yeah, I know. I remember as the Seattle Supersonics head coach. You know what else I remember about that? I thought he was 90 years old as the Seattle Supersonics coach. And that was 90 years ago.
I know.
I would say no as a coach.
As a coach,
But it's Bill Russell. Of course he's going to get in.
he gets a free pass.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He gets a free pass.
All right, so listen, let's move on. NCAA basketball tournament, which is
Going
we've been
on.
starving for
Yeah,
this,
it's
right,
going
for a
on.
year.
Yeah.
Very
Couple things.
couple things. Duke, Kansas,
Wah, wah, wah,
Virginia. You know, the COVID thing is knocking them
Yeah,
out
you
of
led
the
with
tournament.
Duke. Let's say it. They're not going dancing. First time since I think 94 or 95.
Kentucky also.
Could be happier. Coach Cal. Not a fan.
I met him once, though. I had a good conversation with him, but as a
Oh,
coach,
he's charming.
he was charming.
Get out of here.
I'm not kidding.
I know he is, but that's his stick.
I'm with you. I'm saying it. And I'm bringing that up because the Niagara Purple Eagles lost to the Rick Pitino-led Iona Gales.
Oh boy, have I been
Chomping at the bit for this one.
Yeah, but I've also been doing good because with Iowa on the points here because as much as Rick Pitino is a really good basketball coach. We talked about the Louisville and all the other nonsense.
Right.
But when it comes to X's and O's and motivating kids on the court,
Right.
Iona plays Fairfield today. They beat your alma mater.
Niagara Purple Eagles 70-64
Yep.
last night.
But let's just say Rick Pitino will be on TV next Thursday.
This is
They're going to beat Fairfield, so they'll make the dance because they'll win the tournament.
They will.
So my point is, on Thursday, Rick Pitino will be, and Coach Pitino, brings the Iona Gales
back to prominence,
and can they upset the number 1 seed Gonzaga? Yeah, no.
And listen, just so you know, this is Iona's 8th MAC final in a row, the last 8. So my Purple Eagles gave it a run, though. They gave it a run.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. What'd you finish? 6 games under 500?
Hey, we were the number 5 seed.
Gave it a run.
And we were talking about, the glory days of Niagara since Calvin Murphy, Calvin Murphy led the nation in scoring in 1970, I believe.
Right.
So,
and he was the most accurate free throw shooter at the time for a long
top
time.
5 all time.
Oh, absolutely. He was number 1 for a long time.
And I told you, I met him.
Rick Barry. Bird.
I met him and talked to him for time, talked to Hubie Brown. So we're just bringing up the Niagara thing because there's a history there.
Yeah.
But
anyway, the tournaments are the conference tournaments today, tomorrow. The finals will be tomorrow.
And I want to tell you,
of course, there'll be selection Sunday, but we missed that last year.
We
because
did.
It was the beginning of COVID,
Yep.
and we were like, "What? No tournament? What?"
This is outrageous.
Yeah, but even the fact that it's just going to be in one location in Indianapolis, that type of thing.
Yep.
At least basketball's back. Baylor gets upset yesterday by Oklahoma State.
And I wanted to bring that up because I've watched Oklahoma State a couple times, and a lot of basketball has been on TV.
Yeah.
Right. This Cade Cunningham,
he's
awesome.
Well, when he came,
real deal.
No, when he came out, he was probably, I think, the highest recruited kid, and Oklahoma State got him. I think he wanted to go to Oklahoma State and play for the legacy of the late Eddie Sutton, who's one of our favorite guys.
We could have done an Untouchables episode on Eddie Sutton.
No, my point is Oklahoma
Mail
State.
fraud. When did you ever come up with mail fraud?
Right. But the point is, Baylor lost.
Yep.
Gonzaga is still undefeated.
They are.
And you know what? Gonzaga, they're pretty good. Now, don't get me wrong. Gonzaga, plays the St. Mary's and the Pepperdines and all that. I get that.
Yeah, but those schools sometimes, win their first round tournament games. Yeah.
But I'm saying, could Gonzaga could they do it and match Indiana as the last undefeated?
But Gonzaga's had some great teams over the past 20 years.
I know, but this team is pretty. I know they have.
I think they got to the Final Four once.
However, could Mark Few finally get his first national championship? Because this guy has been a lights out coach. I mean, his record is off the charts.
No, it's great.
So my only point is,
great.
Could Gonzaga pull this off this year?
But you're right. You've been on Baylor's bandwagon all year. I know that.
But I think it's also good for teams like that to lose, right? Get that loss out of the way and then start the tournament.
Nobody goes undefeated anymore.
Right.
I mean, I agree.
Right, but I think clearly they're the 2 best teams.
But look what we're talking about in this year of March Madness. The Duke, the Kansas, the Michigan State Spartans, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage. Yeah. Did you see this deal?
Yeah.
Are they really going to announce them that way?
Well, yeah. But Michigan State, to their credit, God, Michigan State came to Rutgers. I don't know, it's got to be a month now. It got absolutely blown out by Rutgers. I mean, blown out.
But we're big Tom Izzo fans.
Of course. And, so they've scratched Claude. I'm sure there's injuries and everything and other factors. But Michigan State this year, I'm not going to ride them like I normally would, Coach Izzo.
I got you.
But I'll give them credit to battle back. And, Ohio State won. I think they're playing Iowa today.
The Big Ten final today is Michigan, Ohio State. How about this?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Love to see that.
Well,
right?
yeah. I mean, Illinois. No, the final isn't today. I mean, the final will be tomorrow. But Illinois, crushed Rutgers yesterday, and I think Rutgers is still going to make the tournament though, because Rutgers has some significant wins.
I got you.
So it's good for Rutgers basketball.
Yep, and it's Election Sunday on tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So
yep.
we love it.
Oh.
And welcome back, college basketball.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cut out fans in the stands or not.
The West Bracket has been. What do you think of them seeding Virginia going to the way?
Yeah.
That type of thing.
I love it though.
Pat Ewing. Big significant win for Pat.
It is, and he's going to the Big East final. But the Patrick Ewing story we wanted to talk about, this is my house, and he didn't have his pass on. I was laughing about it. I mean, it just keeps coming back to James Dolan, right? The Charles Oakley,
Right.
But Patrick Ewing, I said, maybe the security guy, just...
How do I know you're Patrick Ewing?
And that was his point, I guess. It was kind of funny. And he played it well. He played it funny.
You know how many guys I know that look just like you?
Is that not my number in the rafters?
How do I know you're Patrick Ewing?
So listen, we're psyched about it, though. Basketball is back.
Right, so it's a standard Seinfeld reference when George leaves the movie theater and comes back in. He goes, I can't let you in, but I was just here.
Good Seinfeld reference.
Oh, God.
I was just here. Sorry, sir.
Sorry, sir.
You don't have a ticket. But anyway, psyched about that. And real quick, let's touch base on some hockey, right? The NHL.
How about Panarin is back, baby?
He's back.
Oh.
And believe me, they need him because,
I'm glad he had a 2-week vacation in hiding.
in the gulag.
Yeah, right. Knock, knock. Who is it?
Putin. Putin who?
What's the password?
Gulag.
Bosh.
Stolichnaya.
Totally.
But listen, the Rangers, they got to come back. I told you the goaltending was going to be their Achilles heel.
The Rangers are not coming back.
No, but their Achilles
They
heel.
have to come back, but they're not coming back.
Right. Now we got Ruben Kincaid playing goalie. It's just Starkin and Georgiev.
Yeah, we got a third goalie, pretty much.
But the Islanders are hot as hell.
That's why the Rangers are not making the playoffs. You can already, I'm telling you right now, there's too many good teams ahead of them. Boston Bruins are playing real well.
Yeah, they got spanked.
You got Washington, you got Pittsburgh, and like you said, the Islanders.
Yep.
The Rangers are going to be on the outside looking in. More I'm thinking about it, why would they fire Quinn? You said he probably could be gone by the All-Star game.
Yeah, he was on your...
I think he just finishes out the year, and then they'll get the new coach that they want.
The New York Rangers are going to have a new head coach next year. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, without question.
I think not.
I'm going 99.9%.
I think they're all in on Quinn, and I think...
Absolutely not. I think you're so far off on that opinion. I feel sorry for you.
Well, listen...
When we announce our new head coach within the year.
All right, well, please, to all our listeners, send us an email at sportswithmonoandmono@gmail.com. Haven't heard from Mr. Walsh last week, so hopefully...
Walsh. I haven't heard from you either.
So...
He's so busy working for the leader in packaging solutions.
We love you, Mr. Walsh. Chime in, please.
No, he's...
And listen, I just wanted to bring something up before we get to our, final minutes here, Steve. This segment is sponsored by Lynch Toyota of Manchester, Connecticut.
Uh-huh.
And again, they've been with us since the get-go, and we thank them very, very much.
Yeah.
We're talking about, let's go back to this, and we've talked about it before, nicknames.
Nicknames.
High school football team nicknames. And we joked about it about 6 months ago. There are a couple of high schools that are going to change their name because their current nickname is the Cowboys and Indians.
Oh.
That's really happening.
Yeah, what are you kidding?
What is so offensive about those terms? Can you shed some light on it for me? Because I don't get it, but it's really, really happening.
We could be here for 2 days. Am I supposed to comment? You just asked me a question.
But the reason
Can I comment or will I comment? No. Okay. I find it so ridiculous
But does that mean the
it gets
Dallas
to
Cowboys?
this granular level? I find it absurd, actually. Absurd.
Your favorite team is called the Cowboys. Could they possibly change that name
Yeah.
in the NFL?
I mean, it's possible.
Okay.
The Washington Redskins are no longer.
It's the Washington football team.
I understand that, but the Redskins is a connotation of Indian, correct?
But what is so bad about the term Cowboys?
Well, there were some mean guys back then in the day. They were rounding up the herds, I tell you. Then they became the Texas Rangers.
Bring those cattle in there.
They didn't take too kindly to
Wow, how offensive is that?
well, they didn't take too kindly to the black folk. I would think would probably be the
I'm not sure why.
underlying reason.
All right.
I'm serious.
I'm just saying they are literally changing the names of teams from Cowboys and Indians to something else. I don't get it. But anyway, we would love to hear your thoughts. Send us an email at sportswithmanoandmano@gmail.com because if you feel the way we do or you feel completely the opposite of the way we do, let us know. We'd love to talk about it, and we'll talk about it on phone.
Well, what are they changing their names to? The Marys?
I don't know.
Oh, you can't because you'd be excluding the boys.
You can't offend people
However,
named
we're in
Mary.
this transgender society where, you know what I mean? It just goes on. And
I know.
on
I'm just
and
saying,
on.
bringing it up.
Participation trophies to, everybody gets a trophy,
Yeah,
right?
I got you.
I swear to God, if I grew up in this era as an athlete, and I was say 8, 9, 10, I just know myself, and I was on the team and we lost in the championship game, or we lost, or a team stunk, or whatever the case may be, and I was awarded a participation trophy, I would have taken it. I would have been good, and then when we got home, I would have thrown it in the woods or taken a blowtorch to it. Okay? That is not going on my shelf. That is not going, it's just not going to happen. But that's how we grew up. And unfortunately, I think it's a sad state that that's just the way society's trending.
I'm with you. Listen, so let's wrap up with notable passings, and you know what? To be quite honest with you, it was a good week.
It was a good week.
Because there's not a lot of notable passings, but somebody I meant to bring up last week, Louis Nix.
Yeah.
Former Notre Dame football player, played for the Giants.
Absolutely. Remember, he was a really good player at Notre Dame.
Yep.
He was instrumental, when they got to the national championship game. They got blown out by Alabama, but he was a stalwart.
And I don't know the backstory behind it, but a young, 29 years old.
Yeah, hey, I read about it, and R.I.P. Louis Nix. He by all accounts, he was a decent guy and
he was
well liked, and he died too young.
But listen, we'd be happy to have this week after
and
week.
we really, we talked yesterday. Jim and I were, getting ready for the show, and we're saying, are we missing any notable passings of significance?
No, that's a good thing.
Right. But I think like a month ago, I think we had a slow week on notable passings, and then I think it was like Alex Trebek. We just signed off. Right?
Yeah.
It was like Alex Trebek, and then there was this onslaught of. So let's hope that doesn't happen again.
No, so it's a good time, for the show to say we got very few to talk about on notable passings.
Yeah.
But listen, thanks for joining us, everybody. And Steve, welcome back. It's great to be with you.
I didn't go anywhere.
I know. It was kind of on
wasn't
me.
my fault.
And I get it. I'm not bringing it up
Glad
why.
you're apparently healthy, and that's good. And,
But we're back together, and we look forward to hearing from you guys. Send us an email at sportswithmanoandmano@gmail.com. And
correct.
Let's see what happens. We'll be talking college basketball next week for sure. I know that.
Yeah, so the thing is, the tournament starts Thursday. We're back on Saturday. So after the first round, we'll make our picks.
We will.
And you know what I mean? I mean, it's not like Iona's going to win it.
I'm still the reigning champ because I had Virginia in the last time we crowned a national championship before the pandemic. Just saying.
Right.
Anyway, thanks for joining us, everybody. Steve, welcome back, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
You got it.